Welcome back to TableDropZone. My name is Lok.
And my name is Holger.
And today we will tell you about BattleTech 40K. So actually there is a big elephant in the room that we hear recently on Catholic is BattleTech Gothic.
Yeah, so there's a lot of controversy online. Some people really don't like it. Honestly, I have not read much of it. I saw one or two videos online of people talking about it, but we are not going to talk about that. We are going to give our opinion, but we are first going to show you what this actually is. Now, we are taking most of the information from the Catalyst website and from the primer they published on Facebook. This is essentially all we go by, a couple of screenshots, a couple of images. I have not held any of the new minis. I have not seen the rule book if there's any changes there, so this may come later when we know more about this, but for now it's just dive into the history and dive into what this actually is.
So BattleTech Gothic is the first part of the BattleTech continuum. It is a new idea from Catalyst, and they create the multiple alternative universe for BattleTech.
Yeah, it's unclear how much they plan with each of these universes. We don't know whether it's just going to be a box, maybe just a book, maybe just a new model. We don't know. But this is the first box, and it comes as a box with some models, a primer, and a rule book. Whatever that means in the end, we will have to see. So it's experimental new ideas thrown against the wall to see what sticks. This is what it sounds like. Yeah, now let's talk about what are actually the differences in lore, what was changed to create this new scenario. Generally, the timeline kind of goes the same, but there are three major changes I pulled out that I want to talk about that are significant. I feel are significant to how this universe is built up. The first one is that House Marek never takes over the Free Worlds League. Instead, it stays with House Salaj. Now, if you know the BattleTech lore around House Salaj, you know that they, in the original universe, they at least sponsored, but probably committed the assassination of important members of House Marek, and crippled a member who then also took over the Free Worlds League. So they are not the good guys in this story.
Of course.
And these guys are creating what's called Abominations. So they've invented a process called grafting, where they can put different pieces of animals and humans and flesh things together and create some monster. Now these monsters come in different shapes and sizes. Some are as big as mechs and can also really fight mechs. Some are much smaller and are used for different tasks, and some are humans. The humans are called frayed. What is important is these Abominations all have a handler, not except for the frayed, we get to those later. And the handler somehow has to stay close to the mech. They also have a kill switch, so they don't run amok, and because apparently they're quite hard to control sometimes. And the handler either walks next to the Abomination or is in a separate mech that fights alongside the Abomination in the cockpit, something like this. This might have a rule-based concept behind it, where you kind of, if the handler's in a mech and the mech gets destroyed, the beast goes amok or something like this. I can imagine this would be a cool thing. But I mean, I don't know if it's true. It's just my idea.
But it sounds very interesting.
It would be interesting, yeah. And then you have the human Abominations, essentially grafted humans. They're called frayed. And these humans, they have fully conscious, they are fully human in many ways, but they have some enhancements. You see a picture where some people have some horns and so on. And the frayed are kind of a mixed bag. They're needed for having good soldiers, but people also don't want them to replace humanity, so they're sterilized, but some still breed and have taken over whole worlds. And there is especially House Liao that is fully many people have been grafted in there and up to high ranks. And that's kind of the setting when it comes to that. Then the last part is, so we go normal through Star League time, and then we go into what would become the Succession Wars. Essentially, the Exodus, where Kerensky leaves the Inner Sphere. He only takes 1/3 of Star League, not 80%. Now, I don't know if this was thought of that by Catalyst, but to me it sounds like then there's not enough to build the clans, and that's why the clan invasion never happens. That's why the Succession Wars essentially become what they now call the Endless War, because it's never interrupted. And in the Endless War, it's pretty much the same as in the original story. A lot of technology is lost, but you have these graphed abominations fighting with mechs, and the houses fall deeper and deeper into a warring, grimdark like setting. That's kind of where we are picking up with BattleTech Gothic.
So now we will talk about the new thing about BattleTech Gothic. So how many houses we have here? It's 6. Firstly is Lyran Commonwealth. Now here, so in the BattleTech Gothic, all the houses still there, but they have a different name. For the Lyran Commonwealth, they have new name of Realm of Blood and Steel, or Ironclad Alliance.
Yeah, so just like in the original, they are the industrial powerhouse. There is really not much change here to the original timeline.
Yeah, and secondly is Free Wars League. Here with the new name of Realm of the Endless Dynasty, or Collective of the Violet Cruz.
So they invented the grafting, and they have the biggest and baddest abominations. And I mean, they still have mechs as well, but they also have, like, I would say, like, if you build an army, you would focus on abominations here.
Thirdly is Terra. Here it become Terra Noir or Unistar Ascendancy.
So this one is maybe one of the 2 most interesting or 3 most interesting ones. They have fully fallen into religion, into like a techno religion, and are using the Star League industry to essentially just, you know, follow their techno religious endeavors.
Next one is Capellan Confederation, or here with the name of Realm of the Celestial Throne or Golden Unity.
Yeah, so where Terra Noir is essentially the AdMech, now the Capellan Confederation is turned into sort of the Chaos realm. Like here, many people are grafted and up into high ranks, and they use a lot of grafting and frayed people, and you have kind of the demon-like people here.
And fifthly, Draconic Combine become Realm of the Blood Dragon or Draconic Imperium.
And here really nothing has changed. A few small things have changed, but nothing really has changed. They are very much still just samurai code, Japanese kind of deal. It's the same as in the original.
Yeah, and the last one is Federated Suns became Realm of the Blessing Light or Shining Kingdoms of Avalon.
And here you have what would be the Black Templar in 40k. You have the Holy Crusaders that of course go against the techno-religious Terra Noir and against the grafted House Liao, the Capellans. And yeah, that's kind of the new scenario. As you can see, there's not crazy changes, but they kind of try to fit in some of the, you know, some of the 40k elements.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the new boxes Catalyst introduced. It include 8 mechs.
Yeah. So these 8 mechs, they're already out. We know these mechs, but as you can see, they have more spikes.
Yeah. So it means that we can change some part of the mech.
Yeah, so this is the interesting part. We have spruce from BattleTech now, just for the head and the backpack, to give it the specific insignia of your faction, because they have different heads and different flags and flag holders for the different factions now, which is a cool idea.
Yeah, it's very good for painting. We can have some different thing here.
And I mean, I hope that Catalyst sees the potential, because if you think about this and like an Omni-mech, like having different weapon systems for an Omni-mech, you can simply change out. That would be very cool. So this is essentially the rundown. As you can see, the mechs, they are a little bit grim dark-ish, but not. I mean, if you think about chaos, demon engines from Warhammer, this is really like very light on the grim dark.
I think it's the first box testing model, so they just put something new, not too much, but maybe we can expect something very different from the future.
Yeah, so this is really the interesting part, right? It is essentially we get a couple of mechs that look a little bit different and where you can swap out a few things. It's very basic in what we get. We have not seen any Abominations. We have not seen any interesting things that we haven't seen before. The way they are made grim dark is very, very light. There's no like thousands of skulls everywhere and humans on human corpses on pikes and whatnot. It's very like you have a few more spikes here and there and a flag at the back and that's the show, right? So it's very like compared to the real grim dark things we have like Trench Crusade, etc. It's really like not that grim dark. And I think this is also one of the reasons why it feels a little bit half-cooked, like it's half-baked. It's not really grim dark, but it tries to be grim dark. But the interesting grim dark thing we didn't even see, which is the grafted. And
So with all of that, when you buy the box?
I mean, the thing is this. I just don't know what Catalyst wants with this. Right now, it is not interesting because it is really just a box with 8 mechs. The cool thing is we can probably use these mechs as kind of a crazy faction in real BattleTech. So this would be possible. So this is kind of cool. The idea of being able to switch out parts is absolutely fantastic. I hope the future of BattleTech goes more in this direction where we can kind of, imagine changing parts of a Mad Cat to accommodate your strategy better. That would be pretty awesome. Aside from that, well, there's just not much to it. It's very raw right now, right?
Yeah, they miss the most interesting part that we have never seen before is Abomination.
Yeah. So it's a difficult story for me because of course I love the idea of getting new concepts, new ideas, new story, but there's just not that much story. There is the primer, which is interesting to read, but it's like if you compare it to Warhammer or just to Trench Crusade, like there's so much more to it. You can talk for hours and then can even stretch yourself. There's whole channels on YouTube that only do the lore of BattleTech or of Warhammer especially. And I think, yes, of course, you can't expect this to be in the first box, but if you bring out a game like this and all you have to show for is here are the factions you already know and we changed 3 of them to be a little bit different, I'm not sure if that's enough to really make people interested. Right?
BattleTech, so we expect something huge, something like large story, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, for example, it would have been better if the box would include 8 Abominations. And we can use our normal mechs, not like Gothicified mechs, just our normal mechs with these Abominations and just have different strategies. That would have been an interesting addition to normal BattleTech. Or if they would have not changed a lot, but like added a new clan that is like super gothic and does these Abominations or something like this into the real lore, it would have been, I think, especially like after Il-Clan era, right? This would have been an interesting thing. Like now the clans are evolving, the Butchards are becoming more aggressive and violent or something like this, right? And this would be, I think this would have more content, more it would be, because you can build on the lore that already exists. And you don't have to go crazy with some small changes in the end that really don't have much impact because clan invasion can still happen. It's like we are in the middle of Succession Wars when this all takes off. It's just called the Endless War at this point, but the Succession Wars were also not really that short. So yeah, I don't know. I think in terms of Grimdark, we have better options. Would I buy it? I think if it has more juice to it, if we see the first real Abominations that we can use in the game, the first models, if we get a bit more lore that is interesting, a bit more things to just bite on, to build scenarios with, a bit more understanding of how the world looks and feels, then I think yes, but with just this box, I right now would pass. Not because I don't like it, I don't want to support this, but just because I feel like with Mercenaries Kickstarter there is so much on the table right now, and it's much more interesting for us. That I just feel like it's not really. I just need more content, I feel. To buy into something new. If the rules are maybe really cool and inventive and new, that would be potentially a buying point, I would feel. Yeah, so those are our thoughts. We hope that you get a little of an understanding what Gothic is going to be about. Maybe it's all going to change, I don't know, but this is the status quo right now from what we have and what we know. It's not much, but it gives you an insight into what is planned here. And maybe the next box is going to be something completely different. We don't know, we will see.
So it's just all of our idea about the new thing happen with the Catalyst right now. And we hope that you enjoy our video, and we'll see you in the next video with another topic.
Like, share and subscribe, please. Okay, then see you next video, right?
See you.
Bye.
Bye.